When I was 14 years old, I would wake up at 4 a.m. and I would wait for my dad to go to work. This is the time where he would usually leave. I would grab my pillow, my blanket, and I would go to the living room. I would turn on Cartoon Network because around that time they would air a lot of old cartoons such as Johnny Bravo, Ed and Eddie, as well as Billy and Mandy. What is it again? The Crazy Adventures of Billy and Mandy? I don't know. I would watch all of that and I would have breakfast. And I would go to the window and I would just admire just how cold it was and just how much mist there was. We would live in this place where it was essentially a hill, so there was a lot of, I don't know if the word is trepidation, but there was a lot of mist every morning, really. So I would just look out the window and admire just how beautiful it was when I couldn't see the buildings from far away because of just how misty it was. And then I would go ahead and have my breakfast watching my cartoons, and I would end up falling asleep. I would wake up again at around 9:30, which means that I didn't went to school, and I would have a second breakfast, this time watching other cartoons, and I would just stay home. And because this is Brazil we're talking about, and this was like years ago, the school is not going to call your parents if you miss a day, a week, a month of school. They used to not do it. Nowadays it's different, but this is something that I did for about 2 months. I did it on and off for 1 month, and then the second month on August of that year, I was 14, so it was 2013. I did it for the whole month of August. I didn't went to school a single fucking day. And because of that, I repeated 8th grade. That is the best memory that I have of my childhood, and it is a pretty damn bad memory to have. And the fact that it is at 14 years of age is also an indication of just how things were not okay around that time. I would stay at home because I had this one group of friends, and I say friends in huge quotation marks because I don't really think I ever had real friends, really. They were just like acquaintances, and we got separated. Like I was hanging out with them ever since the first grade, on and off. Not every single one of them. There was like 5 of them. One of them I met at first grade, and we just stuck together for years. And then the other ones I met at 5th grade, and we were just like the same group of friends that would just do everything together. At school, we would skip school sometimes as well and hang out outside of school or whatever. But I don't think we were ever that close to begin with. I don't think I ever knew how to actually be a friend, and this is something that I carry over even until this day. But we were like basically the devil of the school. We would cause so much trouble that they ended up separating us. I would cause most of the trouble because I was basically a class clown. They separated us on 8th grade, and that devastated me because not only did I not have other friends, but again, I didn't know how to make friends. So the fact that I was in this new class with people who I knew, mind you, I knew a lot of the people there ever since 1st grade, but I was not friends with anybody. So this just, it took the depression and the anxiety that I was already building up ever since I was 10 years old, and it just exacerbated it to the point where I would go to school, and if they, the other group of friends, didn't go to school, which happened a lot. They would skip class a lot. If I were the only one there, I wouldn't really talk to anyone during recess. I wouldn't talk to anyone outside the school when we were coming in, and outside the school when we were leaving. I would always try and succeed, I guess, in some ways better than others, but I never actually managed to be part of any other group or find someone to hang out with. And this just felt me. It just filled me with angst and a lot of dread over school, you know. It was only 2 years after this that I attempted against my own life for the first time, the first of 5 times. And as much as that is really, really fucking sad, it's sad that I was just so lost and so lonely that I decided to spend an entire fucking month inside the house, and my dad never even noticed. He never even noticed that I was skipping class. Not only is it sad, but I think it's what's even sadder. It's that I cherish that. I cherish that month. I cherish that waking up in the morning and looking out the window and seeing the mist. I cherish not going to school and just watching my cartoons and just being there. I would say that I was isolated at every moment, but it was more like a passive thing. I wouldn't really try to do anything. I just wouldn't talk, really. I wouldn't go anywhere or do anything for the most part. But during those moments when I would just intentionally wake up, that's when I would take the isolation and that was already there naturally, and I would do something about it. I would bring that one type of isolation onto myself intentionally, even though I'm pretty sure the other ways that I was also isolating was also intentional, but I did it without noticing. This one, I did it intentionally. I didn't want to go to school, and yeah, it's unfortunate that out of everything I ever experienced in my childhood, this is the one memory that I always remember, the one memory that always brings me back. And yeah, I don't know, I've never saw mist that was as cool and as, I guess, intriguing as the mist outside of my window back then was. And I don't know, maybe the thing that was actually that I was not actually able to see because it was covered by the mist was myself, really. And being there in the morning doing nothing, it just distracted myself from that reality and made things easier, even though it was just making everything worse.
A loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter. A loaf of milk, a container of bread, and a Joe Dirt DVD. A Joe Dirt DVD, Scarlett Johansson, and Treasure from a Fish Tank.